and welcome to episode 6 of the Thunder Gals. It's Saturday, November 29th, 2025, as we are recording today. I am your one of your hosts, Brittany, aka Oakless Soda Gal, here with my pal Paula.
Hello, and I'm OGB Paula on Threads.
Yay! Um,
Yay!
I I have started trying to occasionally post to Blue Sky as well. I'm gonna be honest to you, Blue Sky users. I'm old. Having too many apps is hard sometimes, and between YouTube and Threads, that's already a lot. Um, and also, I feel like I just get better interaction on Threads. I know a lot of our NBA Threads community cross post to both. Some people left and are only on Blue Sky. I miss you, Sarah Montour Lewis. Um, so
Yes.
we definitely don't want to forget about you all over there. So I'm trying to post some, but please come on over and check out our Thunder Gals Threads content. I do my pregame previews there. And we have something else coming for you that we're going to talk to you about later. So definitely follow at the Thunder Gals on Threads and you won't regret it. Paula and I kind of both run the account. You could talk to either one of us. We just kind of do it on our whims and what we find interesting and pertinent as the Thunder Gals, we kind of post it there. So
You
please.
never know what you're going to get, but it's good for either one of us.
That's right. That's right. You'll probably figure out just if you've followed us for a while, you'll know our voices and you probably know who's who anyway. But yes, please do follow us there and individually. We have other interests beyond basketball that you might find entertaining as well. So we're always happy to interact with you in whatever way you like. So please join us there. Welcome to the show. And we are going to jump into it this week with talking about the long awaited return of the man himself, Jalen JDub Williams.
Woo, woo. No, I'm sorry. I should have barked. Woo, 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 woo.
Um, if you're following us on Threads, you would have seen last night that since I was at said game and my friend Crystal got me amazing seats. Um,
Amazing.
we were down like about 7 or 8 rows up from the floor, down on the Thunder bench end, but like on the side, like looking at it at the same angle the TV looks at it from, from the same perspective. Very cool, very, very good seats. My husband had never sat that close at an NBA game before, so
Oh, cool.
totally new experience for him. He was blown away with just how much more you could see the physicality, especially in those battles in the paint. He really gets into watching those bigs battle in the paint, and yeah, he was real impressed. Although he did say, can you Okies like start feeding Chet some like buckets of fried chicken or something and put some meat on those bones?
You know how I feel about Chet and hamburgers. I need Steven Adams to come back and visit and have Chet smash some steaks. That's what I need.
Devo, smash some steaks with Chet. We need you,
That's
buddy.
Chet's hips need you, buddy. They really do. So come on back and bring some protein for the boy.
I will say, from where I was sitting, I could tell that like they have Chet wearing like hip and butt pads. And I've also noticed on TV sometimes it'll poke through the side of his jersey. You can see he's actually got a pretty thick padding on his chest as well. So it does seem like the staff is at least trying to take precautions to give him the best chance of not sustaining injuries to those bones that are seemingly sticking out through his skin.
That's neat that you were able to see that because I don't see as much detail when I'm not there or up in Loud City, but it's reassuring to know that even with that extra padding, it's not limiting his movements. It's not limiting his, like he's totally playing through it. You see people working out in compression vests and things, and so they move quicker when it's off, but to be able to still move as fluidly and block as strongly as Chet is still doing while wearing that, that is a great accommodation and actually makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, yeah, it did me as well. Yeah, where I was sitting too, I was on the end closest to the basket the Thunder were shooting on in the first half, which is of course when Chet went off on offense and had like 20 points in the first half.
Yeah,
And watching some of his footwork and maneuvering, I mean, for somebody of his height and stature to be able to handle the ball with the grace and the footwork that he does, it
mm,
was really a sight to behold. And I really enjoyed it. I was like, wow, like it looks good on TV, but like being at like almost eye level with it and seeing it was truly like, oh wow, like he is doing that as like there's arms reaching every which way at the ball, and he's got long dribbles because he can't dribble it
very,
down close to the floor. Like there's a lot of room for that to get caught, and he
a lot of
does a
wingspan on that boy.
does a really great job of maintaining control even with all the defenders swiping at him, and it really made me appreciate him that much more, and I've already been in love with this game. So
Yeah. And I know the energy in the energy in the arena, you could hear it through the TV, like when Chet was going off and and I we did have a conversation about no matter where you sit in the arena, if you're sitting 7 rows behind or you're sitting in Loud City, I mean, you're gonna capture enthusiasm throughout. The
oh,
vibes are just always so good in there.
absolutely. And I'll say like 90% of Thunder games I've been to have been in Loud City. So I've only
Yeah.
got to do the lower bowl a couple times, and what an experience. If you can get in there, it's definitely a fun time.
And if
Um,
you can just if you ever get an opportunity to come to a game and come to the, Paycom Center and come to a game, or when our new arena opens in 28, which I
mhm.
can't wait to see. But if you ever have an opportunity to come to a game, don't think you're missing out if what do they call them? The cheap seats. When you're up in the block, you're up there with people that want to be at this game and everybody's cheering. And in my experience, everybody's cheering and is so happy just to be there and be in the arena.
And they call it Loud City for a reason in the upper deck because I'll be honest, those fans are a bit louder.
Yeah.
The kind of people who can afford these, tickets that could be $600+ a ticket, per seat down near the court. They're, the kind of people with that kind of money aren't necessarily always the loudest, most rowdy people. Not to say there aren't some, but some of them are, like CPAs and stuff who have, very boring day jobs and they're just there to enjoy the game, and they're not the rowdiest people in life, and but they like the team and they like the energy. And it's the people up in the upper deck helping to bring that energy that makes it so much fun. So,
Yeah. There's a lot of corporations that buy blocks of lower bowl
mhm.
seats and they'll provide them to employees for events or whatever, how corporations dole out, opportunities like that. And sometimes people will take and will go to the game but may not really be a fan, or they're with somebody that really wanted to go, or So sometimes you don't see as much enthusiasm in the lower bowls as you do. It is a little rowdier because these are people that, have taken the time and spent their money and are there to support the team. Not that the lower bowls aren't, please don't get me
Everybody
wrong.
is. Don't, yeah, everybody's there to
I'm just
support
talking
the
from an
team.
enthusiasm level,
Yeah.
of people, you know, the corporations are not buying the Loud City seats. These are the individuals and fans that, choose to go to that game. So
Absolutely. But back to JDub. So,
sorry
um,
about that.
that's okay. This is our show. We do what we want here.
It's true. That's true.
Don't tell
So
me what to
JDub,
do.
amazing return.
Um, this was the first time in the Shea era that I have heard the crowd be louder for somebody else than Shea. And
Mm.
I did post a little video clip to our Thunder Gals last night, right afterwards. As J-Dub was running out during the intro, it got loud in there. Like people were so excited. Everybody started barking as they were cheering, and you could see the excitement on his face. And he already had the top shirt off, and he was already in just the jersey and shorts, like ready and raring to go. He came running through that line and just looked at the crowd, and you could like see it amp him up. And it amped us up because like we're like he's feeding off our energy, we're feeding off his energy. It was such a really cool moment. I'd been planning to go to this game for a while, so just how lucky of a Thanksgiving miracle to have it turn out that I got to see J Dub's return, and his first basket of the season was right in front of me on that basket, and I was just stoked. It was amazing, and we were all really excited for him. Um,
They were Somebody asked him after the game last night, he yelled after he pulled that down, and they were like, "Who were you yelling at?" And he was like, "Oh, it's probably my parents." He says, "You can always hear, I could hear my mom, and so I knew that they were there. So yeah, I was probably yelling at them." He was so excited, but you had to wonder what was going through his mind because he's been on that was his first time this season. They're on this roll, this amazing, this wins and just all the accolades that the team is getting right now. And it's always been followed up with, and J Dub's not even playing. And J Dub's not even playing. Wait till
and they're
J Dub
doing this
returns.
without J-Dub.
Yeah, how are they? Wow. And I just have to wonder as a player because he's very connected. He's very on social. I mean, he hears it. And I wonder what kind of pressure that puts on him. Does it make him, more anxious? Like, oh, I've got a lot to live up to when I first come out. I don't want to screw up this, string of wins. Or is it, he's just chomping at the bit, can't wait to get out there, and he's just as excited to come back as we are. I always just wonder what kind of pressure external noise impacts internal feelings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and he posted yesterday that like Instagram story with the guy with the mask on, like the
Yeah.
oxygen mask on and eyes closed and suddenly waking up. Like he was absolutely elated to be getting to come back. And I wonder too, like, what to what degree was he just excited to come back? Was he jealous? Like, and hearing that, like, without J-Dub all the time, like, on the one hand, it's got to be cool because clearly everybody knows who he is now because they're everybody that's saying that is saying it because they're like he's clearly their second best player, like he's clearly
Hmm.
ascending, he's clearly all NBA. So they're doing it out of respect. But then Does that make him feel like he's maybe not as necessary to the team that they're 18-1 without him, before
Exactly.
he
That's what
comes
I'm
back?
wondering. Does he feel like he's going to negatively impact and because they've gotten such a rhythm with, Queso and, AJ Mitchell, not that AJ Mitchell is a JDub. Please do not mistake that in any fashion. But I mean, look at the team, look what they're doing and
Yeah.
being shorthanded. So I don't
I
know,
mean,
whatever
I
the
mean
case
for
is.
for lack of a better term, I try not to be too vulgar, but it's kind of a mind fuck.
I would think so. I honestly, there just had to
Like
be so much
they're
emotion.
this good without me, but now, so like, how's he gonna feel if, in a few games they're not blowing everybody out anymore? Does that start weighing on him and thinking, am I messing the team up? Like, there's a lot of fragileness to this situation that we fans might not be fully thinking through all the time, but I do think, he'll work through it. I think this team showed last year because, you could say the same about where Chet was last year, missing
Yeah,
almost half the season in the middle of the season, having started off so hot and then coming back and not being able to be as good as he was, and then having to
yeah,
hear some of that negativity. And even, despite him playing really great on defense, his offense in the playoffs was shaky. And I even had some friends that are fans that were starting to ask in the finals, like, is Chad even really good for this team? And like, yeah, he's, a good, you can block some shots and stop some people at the rim, but I don't think his offense is there. And I'm like, yo, 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 like, hold up. Like, he couldn't walk for like 3 months.
yeah.
Like, he's still
He was
getting
on a
his like
wheelie.
leg strength back. Like, of course his shooting's gonna be off. Like, a jump shot literally requires leg strength. So like, if you
And bless his
noticed,
heart.
his shots in the playoffs were kind of flat because that
Yeah.
leg strength just wasn't where it needed to be. So
But we've at least
precedent
have
tells
been,
us we can do this successfully, and if any team
yeah,
can do it, it's this team because they do seem to have a genuine connection with each other as teammates and brothers, that I think will help them
Shay was
weather it.
hyping him up.
Yeah,
Shay was hyping him up after the game, but you have to think it is a luxury for all of and J-Dub's not even playing with all of the wins. We actually got to see that he had the luxury to heal up more and not be needed to rush back and potentially cause, like they recognized the screw was an issue. And
yeah.
because of that, and because of how the team was doing, we had the luxury to see him, heal longer rather than rush back.
I'm scared to bring this up,
No, I don't know.
but
Do I want to hear this?
from my
Do I want to hear
lawyer
it?
mind, as a
Oh,
lawyer,
goodness.
all right. So I was thinking about this. Um, I can't, I don't know. There's no proof of anything, but
Nope.
I
All
know,
speculation.
as both a lawyer and a sports fan, that athletes, especially athletes on big multi-million dollar contracts, often will buy these one-off type insurance policies. Did JDub buy an insurance policy after he signed his contract this summer that says if I get injured and can't make all NBA to get my bonus, I can make an insurance claim because my injury cost me, X million dollars.
Huh. Now that's something to think about. It didn't even occur to me.
And
I mean,
if
we have
so, he
absolutely no
wouldn't even
proof.
have to, he could just personally do it on his own and say, I could have come back 2 games ago, but maybe I just wanted that to take just a little longer. I'm still going to get my money because I've got this insurance policy out there. But now I'm saving the Thunder, 20 to 40 million dollars. Maybe he likes iHeart. Maybe he wants to keep him around. Maybe this is a way, he helps the team a little bit by getting that bonus through an insurance policy instead of coming off the salary cap. Oh, just
Well, maybe
it's
he's
somewhere my
also,
lawyer mind went.
and I see that. To me, what I consider, or what I think maybe they consider as I sit in my comfy recliner is that we've seen several big stars feel the pressure and feel like they need to come back sooner than they should. And they end up,
Hey.
losing seasons because they're so, they blow out an ACL, or they, you know, think that maybe they don't like the response that the team's doctors have said to them, and they decide that they're going to work out a deal with the team where they're going to sit. There you see a lot of, you know, and we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know the discussions, but you've seen players in their prime get knocked down by an injury that possibly could have been prevented with additional rest. And then that
Yeah,
gets into more conversation about back to backs and the length of the season. And then that gets into contracts and media contract. I mean, it's such a multi-layered thing, and not just, hey, my ankle hurts. I'm probably going to need to sit out this week.
which, on that note, Isaiah Hartenstein sat out last night. I was sad he didn't play.
I
And I found out
know.
after the fact because I missed that update to the injury report because I had to drive like 2.5 hours to Oklahoma City from where I'm staying in Oklahoma at the moment to go to
You
the
were
game.
dedicated.
So I missed the injury update and didn't know till I was like there and saw him in street clothes. But I did look it up. It just was ankle soreness, which
Yeah.
when I see soreness, that tells me like if this were the playoffs, I'm probably playing, but it's the
Tape it up
regular
and go.
season. Let's just, let's hold off. We're doing good. JDub's back tonight. I can take a step back. Um, and then I was
Well, Jay
also
will.
noticed AJ Mitchell, only
Yeah.
5 minutes last night at the game, heard nothing about why he didn't come back in, looked it up. Apparently, he got a knee contusion, so he was ruled out for the remainder of the game after his first 5 minute stint.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder too if we'd have done a little better in that second half had we had AJ still, like missing his ball handling on that second unit. While JDub can do that, he was still trying to get. It was clear he was getting back up to speed. Um,
Yeah. He wasn't in rhythm.
he had some moments that were really good when his energy kind of connected and he was starting to feel it. But it was really clear he was pushing a little hard out of the gate and still trying to like feel out exactly the speed and ferocity he needed to bring. But so with him being a little shaky on the comeback and no AJ Mitchell, the second unit did pretty well, but they didn't really get that like 20-point lead that they've sometimes been able to pull off in that end of third quarter, beginning of fourth quarter time. And the
I know.
Suns
Shay
kept
actually
staying
had
in
to
it.
play in the fourth.
Yeah.
I was so upset. Shay actually had to, I'm getting spoiled, and this is terrible. But I'm getting annoyed that I'm annoyed that Shay has to play in the fourth.
Yes. Now
And
credit
so,
credit to the Suns, who
yes,
were a bit shorthanded last night, but they brought intensity. This is a team that's off to a really solid start this season. Um, they're a team that for the last few years tried to go in on this. We're going to bring three crazy money superstars together and then just throw whatever little bit of money we can at some other pieces around them and see if
yeah,
just the greatness of these three can take us somewhere. And they weren't even making the playoffs. So then they were like, all right, scrap that. go back down to Devin Booker being our star. Let's surround him with role players
Yeah.
and, focus on being a team that has a team identity instead of a
Hmm.
three-headed monster, taking turns identity.
Yeah.
Um, and they play much better now that they look like a team rather than just defer. Oh, Paula, you have frozen. Are you still there?
I am still there.
Oh, good.
Are
You're
you?
back. You're back. Okay.
Oh, I know. I zoned out. My apologies. I'm not certain. I was thinking about the fact that we're going to have to play the Suns again in a week in the knockout round in the NBA Cup.
Yeah, yeah. That's gonna be a good game. It's back in OKC
Hmm.
because the quarterfinal matchups will be on the home floor of the best better seeded team.
Yep.
And then the winner will go on to that semifinal in Vegas. So,
That's exciting.
December 10th is, I believe, the date for the Suns quarterfinal matchup. So, I have a kind of crappy internet connection out in rural Oklahoma where I'm at. So, I apologize if this gets fuzzy at some point to anyone listening. And I've lost her again. Oh dear. Are you back? Okay.
Oh, yes, I'm right
I'm
here.
I'm checking my hotspot connection and my number of bars and all that. So it's
Well,
good.
everything's good on my side.
It's good. It's all whatever problems there are, they're my fault. I'll let it out as much as I can, but to listeners
Understood.
out there, if there's any fuzziness in any of the sound, it's my fault because I'm out in the sticks, because I'm a country gal. What can I say?
So when you were at the game, you said you stayed after and watched the Nick Gallo interview afterwards.
I did. I did. I mean, I wasn't close enough to like hear them or anything, but I just kind of
But
stayed watching the vibes and kind of seeing them all huddle together around the camera and make a big
how
show of it.
fun. Well, one of the things Nick Gallo asked, he asked Shea if he realized that he is now shooting 42% from the three. And
Ooh.
Shea's first response to that was, don't jinx it. So it makes me wonder how superstitious Shea is. If that was just an off the cuff, or if knowing how Mr. Consistent is does he not want to hear certain things? Does he not want, we know he's very particular in how he eats and how he shoots and how he works out and what he does, Mr. Consistent. So it's always interesting to me, what players do to get into their game mindset
Oh,
habit. Is it, they just enjoy it? Because like Shea eats an apple before every game. Is
right.
that like wearing your lucky socks? You do the same thing all the time, or does he really just enjoy apples before a game?
Well, I mean, I think he said in starting five it was partially because it's like a nice energy boost, like by eating it 30 minutes before, like the energy boost hits as game time hits. But I wondered, like, could there be some superstition there as well? Um,
I know they get into habits. Russ, when he was there, we all knew that Russ parked in the same spot. He came in at the same time, that he changed his uniform at halftime. Like we knew some of Russ's habits. So it's
oh,
just
and his
interesting.
he had a free throw routine where he
Oh,
walked back further between free throws, and then the NBA changed the rule to where he couldn't do that anymore, and his free throw percentage has never been the same ever since.
it's never recovered ever since they changed it. Like he and he catches himself. You still see it to this day. The muscle memory, he'll stop himself from going out, of the
Because yeah, they
lane
have to
there.
stay in that circle now. Instead, he used to be able to go out almost to the half court circle and come
Yep.
back, but now
And people are
they're
like,
limited to the top of the key circle. So
Russ's free throws have dropped off. Well, you know what? Look, take a look. Let's correlate it back to,
it's so weird because you wouldn't think something just that minute would do like have such an impact. But I mean, you're right. These players are really creatures of habit, and like part of what the great ones have is like they've trained for so many situations that they do have the muscle memory for
yeah.
those moments, like that's part of what sets them apart. So very interesting thought. That also leads us into we had a question from one of our listeners, DJ Unity 405 on Threads, about the tension in the arena last night, and were the people in the arena as scared or tense in those final moments as maybe the people on TV might have been. And so I wanted to quickly address that and say, I think we were all Shay in that moment. Like
Yes.
we were getting his energy and like we were feeling his confidence. So we like the crowd didn't feel like we thought we were gonna lose necessarily. But man, when that turnover happened and Gillespie's trying to run and save the ball and get it so they can go try and tie the game, and then Shea's able to get it back real quick. And that look he gave of kind of, whoo, dodged a bullet
Yeah.
there. Like, that was definitely the reaction of the crowd at the same time. We're all like, oh, wow, that got a little too close for comfort.
Yeah. We won by what, four, but it did not feel like four. It feels like we barely scraped by. So,
Again, to Suns fans out there, your team much better this year. A lot to be proud of. You put up a heck of a fight. It's going to be a heck of a rematch. So that was a great game. I enjoyed the crap out of it. It was just a good experience. I do want to say though, I don't like to get too into criticizing officials, but Evan Scott, number 78, he is a shorter guy out there. Um, he made some terrible calls last night, one of which was directly in front of me. It was in the second half, and Lou Dort was playing defense. He was the offensive player. I can't even remember who the player was now. I can't remember if it was Booker or Brooks, was backing him down. He tried to do the pull the chair move where you're using your body, and as soon as you feel the player about to lunge to make his move to the basket and try to draw a foul, our player, whether it's Dort, Caruso, Kaysen, they'll just suddenly all of a sudden step backwards real fast. And the offensive player then stumbles and potentially loses the ball, and we get a ton of turnovers with it. And at full speed, it can almost look like a foul if you're not paying attention to what just happened.
mhm.
78 is behind the play, behind Lou, can't see that Lou doesn't touch him, but blows the whistle. And that started a cascade of number 78. He blew that whistle like 5 possessions in a row. And it was all against the Thunder. And even Mark was getting in his face. I could see Michael Cage getting apoplectic from across the room, like because he was all like kind of kitty corner across from me. So I'm
Uh-huh.
seeing even Michael Cage is getting animated, and I'm like, oh, like this isn't just us over here. Like this is wrong. Like people are mad that this guy. I got up, I waited for a quiet moment, and I got up and yelled, "Hey, 78! how much money you got on Phoenix tonight?
Oh no, no. Oh boy.
I was
I think I
so
saw a picture that was taken of you when you were doing that. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's Britt. That is fully, I fully understand her energy in this one.
I was so fuming, but the whole crowd, we were just like, what are you looking at? Like, this is so ridiculous. And it wouldn't have been so maddening if it wasn't the same guy doing it, just like over and over. And it's like, what are you even looking at, man? Like, I looked him
Oh
up.
yeah.
It's his fifth season as an official. Prior to the season, he had only officiated like 140 something games. So I
Uh-huh.
think I might just chalk it up to inexperience. He's not one of the more experienced officials out there. So, maybe he just wasn't as studied up on some of our moves. I know the officials watch film, they know what to try to look for. And that's why they often don't call those pull the chair calls against the Thunder, because they
Yeah.
know that our guys have mastered this technique to not get the foul, but make it look like something, the other team thinks they got fouled because they see their player stumbling. Well, he must have
Yeah.
got hit. But then when you stop it in slow-mo, you see, no, that's just Dort, Caruso, Kaysen just jumping back real quick and getting out of the way. And so it was crazy, but it still was fun. And that's part of the fun of going to the games is, you get to let out your emotion a little.
Yeah, the games are very emotional and all the refs, they got to play to learn. So, but in the end, they still pulled out a win. So I'm tremendously happy about that. I am not ready for any streaks or anything to end. And
Oh, one other quick note from the game last night before we move on to other topics.
yeah,
I want to give a shout out to Aaron Forshaw at A4SHAW on Threads. He is an
yes,
attorney in Oklahoma City as well. We've been friends on Threads for a few years now as part of the NBA Threads community. Finally got to meet in person. So that was really neat. And just another one of those things of why I tell people come join our NBA Threads community because we're real people, real fans who support each other. We sometimes will see each other in the wild and meet up. I've met Sooner Ferg when he was up in Minnesota and we went to a Lynx game together. I know you've shown some people around when they've come down to Oklahoma from other fan bases. So
yeah.
please join us there. It's great. And shout out
It's a
Aaron.
great community, and I love seeing meetups across the country. You see people that go out of town, and they'll be in towns where there's an NBA game happening, and they'll be like, "Okay, who's going to be at the game?" And you see the pictures of the meetups, and it's just so fun. So I was so jealous that you got to meet him last night, but I'll make a point to see if I can say hi to him in person next time I go. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see more people, see more community, and hopefully more people will come to the games and
And
we
if
can
you're
all
a
hang out.
listener, hit us up, DM us on Threads. Tell us what game you're going to. I don't get to go to a ton. I live in Minnesota most of the year, so I'm not at a lot of games. But hey, if you're up in Minnesota, hit me up. I sometimes drive the few hours down to Minneapolis and get to a Wolves game or a Lynx game. So definitely, keep me in mind. Or email us at thethundergals@gmail.com.
Yeah, say hey. We solicited some questions this week, and one of the other ones that came across was from Suns fanatics. So love community and with other teams, especially after we beat them, there's still no animosity. And she wanted to know if there is a Thunder legend out there that would, if we could pick one from their prime, that would be a good fit on the team now. So
Ooh,
what do you
that
think?
That's a really interesting question. Why don't you go first? Why don't you go first on this one? There's a couple
Okay.
people I think that
There's
maybe.
a couple, but the one that I'm going to go with for right now, and my mind can change at any time because I love my Thunder Legends, but defense wins championships. So I'm going to go with one of our Thunder Legend defensive players and say Serge Ibaka. Can you imagine him in the
Surge.
lineup with iHeart and Chet and Serge? Nobody's getting past us. Nobody. I mean, it's
Ooh.
done. It's done.
Surge is a great choice. And not only for his defense, even, people sometimes overlook what an offensive player he could be. I remember back in one of those Spurs playoff series where there was a night he went like 11 of 11 from the field, and they were interviewing Kevin Durant after the game, and they brought up that Serge had gone 11 of 11, and he goes, wait, Surge didn't miss? Like, whoa. Like, Surge had a good shot. He knew how to be where he needed to be on offense. And he wasn't just shooting, two footers. I remember he had a really nice mid-range game.
Yeah.
And I
But
think that got it
they didn't call him Serge Ibaka for nothing though.
correct. Well, and that Ibaka nickname kind of like got people focused on his defense, but he had the offensive skills that would also mesh on this team. So
Yeah.
the defense and the offense, wonderful choice. I love Serge. He still roots for the Thunder too. If you
Yep.
follow him on
He was
Instagram,
there ring night.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I loved that.
He definitely like he's still connected to the team and to the organization. So I love that pick. I love it. My friend Crystal would love it as well, who took me to the game last night. So
So who would you pick? Who do you think would be a great
I
fit?
I think it would be Kevin Durant. Um I
Okay,
hate
that's a choice.
I hate to go there. Maybe maybe in a way he'd fit better if he didn't have to be the guy. Because
True.
you know, he and Chet Holmgren actually have a lot of similarities in their offensive game.
They do.
And while Chet, I think, is a better rim defender, Kevin Durant is a really good perimeter defender who can defend at the rim a little bit too. And, just with his efficiency scoring, like if you put him alongside Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, it's gonna be hard to stop that team. And like I said, he's not like just because he is such a good offensive piece, you're still not really losing on defense either, because he is one of
Yeah.
those stars that did always also play defense. So I think he would actually fit, especially if Shea was the leader and he didn't have to be. Because I think
Yeah.
that's the thing I took away most from the starting five with Kevin Durant is he just wants to play basketball.
He
He
wants to
doesn't
hoop.
he doesn't want the burden of leadership, of being the guy leading the team. He just wants to play. I
Yeah.
think, I think in that scenario it might have worked. Um, I think, we obviously as Thunder fans still have some feelings. Um, he
Hmm.
he ruined our July 4th weekend of 2016. What are we gonna do?
Cupcakes never mean the same
What are
anymore.
we gonna do? He did it. It's hard, but the championship now definitely helps, with some time and distance and a championship that he had nothing to do with. I feel a little better than I used to, and so I would say KD.
From a skill set, I absolutely understand your pick. So thank you guys for the questions. You made us think. We really did think on this
You
one.
made us go down this memory lane that is sometimes a little painful, Carrie.
Oh, but Okay, well, that was an amazing week. I'm so glad you got to go to the game last night. And now this week coming up, looks like we have another game or two out on the West Coast, which means no sleep for me.
No
What is it? I think we've
sleep
got
for Paula.
hey. No, I think we've got what do we got? Portland
We got
again
Portland
tomorrow.
on Sunday.
Yep. And then
Um, is it
Golden
the
State.
Warriors on Tuesday with the 10 o'clock Central tip-off
Oh my
on
God, I'm
Peacock?
already dreading Wednesday.
10 o'clock on the cock, baby.
And of course, now before I looked at that schedule, I had decided that you do a pregame preview. So
Yes, and
maybe
thank
I
you
should do.
everybody watching those Thunder Gals pregame previews. We see you on YouTube checking in and giving us likes. Thank you.
So maybe since I'm still so hyped after the games, because heaven knows I can't watch a game calmly, that I should probably do a post-game wrap on that. And by wrap, I mean with a W, a wrap.
The rap.
So,
Yes.
so maybe
And
we'll do that and
hopefully
I'll
they'll be raps about W's.
about W's. Yeah, I'm going to funnel my, kinetic energy, especially on win nights
That
to
81 and 1 is still on the
on the
table.
table.
We're a quarter
Yes.
way into the season
I
almost.
love it. I love it. And I will continue to raise that flag as long as we get to. So that's what we're looking forward to this week. And we appreciate all the feedback this week and for you guys taking a peek and
That's right.
listening to us
Smash those
ramble.
subscribe buttons, hit those like buttons. I think, some of our stuff on YouTube, I've heard about this hype button that might exist for some specific YouTubers. If you have the hype button, hit the hype button, I hear. It's supposed to really help us. But thank you to everyone. Subscribe. Our pregame previews and postgame wraps will be both on our YouTube channel as shorts and on our threads. So those are the places you want to go to see those. And with that, we'll wrap up another amazing week full of W's and hope for another amazing week full of W's. And you
Fingers
all
crossed.
can deal with, really, really, really tired Paula on Tuesday night. Well, it
Wednesday
might
morning,
actually be Wednesday morning, I think, by the time that comes up. But, she'll be
you get
so
what you
hyped.
get.
She'll be hyped
I
and
will.
like red-eyed and crazy. It'll be amazing. Um,
Can't wait.
So, well, thank you
Okay.
all for listening again, and we will see y'all again next week, and we'll try to get back to our regular schedule now that it won't be a holiday week. So, bye, y'all. Thunder up.
Bye.